non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Kaplan and Crew with just the crew today, the extended crew, by the way. Alex Padilla, John Browner, Jason Lawhead with you guys up until 6 o'clock. We're from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. A lot's going to happen today, I feel like, boys. I think a lot's going to happen today. A lot's going to happen tomorrow. And in the meantime, the Padres got to play 3 games before the trade deadline. I think we might get one of those visuals tomorrow in the first game of the doubleheader against the Rockies, where a dude gets pulled from a game. They start saying goodbye in the dugout. Like, that could legitimately happen tomorrow to the Padres. But today, yes.
They thought that happened to Chris Bryant yesterday because they just took him out of the game for no reason. People are like, what happened to Chris Bryant? He's out.
Yeah.
He didn't get traded.
But you know who did get traded? Taylor Rogers, the guy that – it's funny because they just played the Twins, and that's the team he came from. They had a shot of him being all chummy in the bullpen during a game, talking to his old teammates. And obviously, if you watched the game yesterday, Emilio Pagan was part of the deal. He gave up the game-winning run to, I believe, Luke Voit hit the RB. I was there yesterday. Side note, I'm over day games, man. It's too hot. I am a West Coast like pansy because it was like 80 and it was hot. They need to install Six Flags Misters at Petco. They got to do something.
The day games are entirely too hot.
That's a great idea.
They're entirely too hot. And if you sit in the sun, forget it. You white folks, I don't know how y'all do it.
I was sitting, I don't know if you know, like where Annie sits for the broadcast. I was like 5 rows behind her. I was like direct there. I was like, this game can go till 7 and I'm still not getting any sun. Like I mean, any shade. I am going to get all sun here. So I was there yesterday. Good win. Padres win 2 of 3. The big news. I told you guys on Monday last week, at the moment, up until tomorrow at 3 p.m., I don't care about results. I don't. Because this team is going to look significantly different. In my opinion, I think it'll look significantly different. Step 1.
Significantly different. Complete.
Step 1. The Padres have traded for closer Josh Hader. Josh Hader on the season. 29 saves. Who's the Major League Baseball save leader. But this month, his ERA has ballooned from a 1.09 to a 4.24. That's not very good. On the season,
now, this is what I will say about this trade. I have, and again, I'm a have I seen it guy. I've seen this guy be legit, lights out, unhittable.
Mm-hmm.
Just lights out.
Yeah.
Period. So either he's had this situation because he's hurt, and they know he's hurt, so they're trading damaged goods, or he's just in a funk, which a change of scenery can absolutely help that. Moving from Milwaukee to San Diego, California, could brighten up a lot of people's forecasts. So I hope it's the second and not the first, because this guy is lights out when he is right.
So let's talk about when he's right, because, you know, when you pitch 1 inning a game, your ERA can balloon and drop significantly pretty quickly. So he had 2 terrible games. Against the Giants on July 15th, he gave up 6 earned runs and blew that save. Against the Twins, he gave up 3 earned runs and lost that game. Since then, he's come out with 4 appearances. He's given up 1 run, striking out 7 in 4 appearances. He has 2 saves. So maybe it was just a 2-game thing. He did have a stretch there as well, also in July, where he gave up at least 1 earned run in 3 consecutive appearances. But he was traded for Taylor Rogers. So Rogers is now gone too. Rogers is second in baseball with 28 saves. He just had a terrible month where his ERA went from 2.84 to 4.35. We already know the struggles that Taylor Rogers has had here. We saw it with our own eyes, but it's recently. So Rogers has been bad the last 3 times we saw him, to the point where yesterday it was a 3-2 game and Garcia closed the game.
Mm-hmm.
And with Hader, could it have been just a small blimp in his resume this season. He was an all-star this year. He's been an all-star 4 times. He's led saves. I don't know how many times. I have to look that up. But they also gave up Estray Ruiz, who I don't know where he ranks on the prospect list. They gave up another left-handed pitcher, and they have officially given up on Nelson Lamet. Just first thoughts from both of you. Browner, you can go first. What do you think about the Padres? I mean, this is what it is. Josh Hader is the Padres' new closer.
I think that this is one of those things where we've kept asking for them to show us that you're ready to make titanic shifts at the deadline because you believe in this roster. This is a titanic shift on the roster because it appears now that Preller knows it's got to be now. I believe that he believes now is the time. There were reports as well that they've gone after other big fish. They've poked around other big fish, namely, you already know one, but there's now secretly an other that they've gone after as well. They've thrown out lines to see if they could get them. This is a sign that they are going for it, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I love the move. I was like, every time Taylor Rogers came in now, I felt like he was going to lose. And as a fan, you don't want that. And the guys that they gave away, again, will they be Josh Hader? No, they won't. And Pagan, who we all had high hopes for whatever reason, it just never panned out. Injuries, he just never really got a fair shot here. And so hopefully he'll have a better opportunity in Milwaukee if he can stay healthy. But I love the deal, man. I absolutely love it.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I think, harking back to what Browner said earlier about a change of scenery. I think maybe both of these GMs looked at their closers and where they are. I mean, these are playoff teams, right? You got Milwaukee in first place. You got San Diego in second place behind, seemingly maybe the best team in baseball, or at least record-wise, right up there with the Yankees and the Astros in that department, and consistently there. And closers are wired different, man.
Yeah.
They're not, they're a different species in this baseball ecosystem, right? Like, they kind of go in slumps, like the power hitter goes into a slump, like a contact hitter, the Tony Gwynns, the Wade Boggses. These guys almost never slump, right? Those aren't the types of players that slump. The guys that slump are the guys that you depend on hitting 50 home runs or 45 home runs, and they go dry for a while, and they got to maybe just find themselves again. And I think as far as pitchers, the closer is the closest to that kind of guy. And I think maybe this was just one of those things where GM's talking, going, hey, you know what? My guy needs to change the scenery. This team maybe just isn't in the belief with this guy, even though he's tops and saves. Why don't we swap him for you? You swap him, change of scenery. These guys might step in. Bob Melvin may be better for Hader, and vice versa in Milwaukee. And maybe the team will rally around the freshness of a new guy. And hey, our guys in the locker room over here have faced Hader before. They know he's no fun, so they're excited about getting him, and possibly vice versa. So I like the deal as well, because I think it freshens up some things that maybe were stagnant. And yeah, both of these guys were both in some slumps a little bit in this month, but July's a weird month for baseball, Lane and Dog. They call these the days of baseball, So I like it. And I think maybe that changes scenery. I'd love to see what his career stats are against teams like the Dodgers and the Giants.
How about I just tell you
something? Okay.
So here's bad news, because the Padres do play the Rockies for the next 5 games. Josh Hader has a 4.22 career ERA against the Rockies. He does have 5 saves.
A lot of those could be in Colorado, though.
Right?
That ball flies on
against the Dodgers. He is 1-2 lifetime with a 3.7 ERA with 2 saves. I don't know how many save opportunities there. Against the San Francisco Giants, 2-1 with a 6 ERA. And 3 career saves there. So not fantastic until you get to the Diamondbacks, who he's allowed 0 runs in 9 games with 4 saves. So, I mean, he's going to have more opportunities. But the nice thing is now that he's now that he's on the NL West, he'll have more opportunities against those teams.
That's the thing. With the way the Major League Baseball schedules, that's all he sees. The Major League Baseball schedule isn't like it used to be back in the older days. I mean, that's all he sees are those National League Central teams over and over and over again. And you did mention some stats that weren't so flattering when you talk about Giants and the Rockies, but you're not seeing them a ton. So now
Right.
you'll see them a little bit more. Maybe
Well,
you get to study those lineups more and figure out some matchups when you get in there
I
and
think
and improve off of that.
the next 11 games are against NL West opponents. This is a really good stretch for the Padres as far as what are they going to be in the second half of the season. We know how much they've struggled against the Rockies. They're 3-8 against the Rockies. They got 5 against them, a doubleheader tomorrow. They got 3 in LA this weekend, which Tatis will not be a part of if you missed it. Kevin Acee reports that Fernando Tatis will do a rehab assignment this weekend. He's taking live BP for the first time today. And then the Giants come to town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. I'm assuming that when we come back from our vacation, that is likely when we will see Fernando Tatis back on a
So
Padres. And who knows what the team will look like come Wednesday.
you were asking about the prospects. According to MLB.com, the 2022 Padres ranking, they gave away the 28th guy and the number 7 guy. Gasser was the 7th guy.
Mhm.
So even in the grand scheme of things, they didn't really give up much in the system to get Hader, other than an actual pitcher in Nelson Lamet, who again, like we spoke about, can't necessarily stay healthy. And we gave up the closer who we already had, who everybody was ready to pack his bags and pay for his flight to go wherever they were sending him. So I mean, because I'm thinking in the next trade, you're going to see Hassel, Capisano, Wood, and Merrill go. And if you ask me, throw in whoever else you need.
The thing about Josh Hader is this. I know Taylor Rogers was our closer this season. I know in 2018 or 19, I think he had like 30 saves for the Twins. But outside of that, he wasn't a closer. Like Josh Hader is a closer. Josh
Period.
Hader has been in the playoffs
Mhm.
closing games.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hader
Exactly.
and
Big one.
yes,
And looked
and
good.
Josh Hader, I don't listen. I'm not sitting here watching Milwaukee Brewers baseball. I can't tell you what he's looked like so far this year.
What?
I think the series that the Brewers were here, Williams was the one closing games because Hader was out. But I'll tell you that from my historical look at him, I love it. I love the deal. The Nelson Lamet I gave up on a long time ago. I don't care about prospects. I know that
Me neither.
eventually prospects turn into something. Look at Tatis, like they turn into something eventually. But for me, go get the guys that are established. If you want to win now, you go get guys that are established, and that's step one. The closer, the
Of the
bullpen has been a huge issue, and now whether it continues to be an issue,
Mhm.
that's on Hader. But now you have a
right.
established dominant closer historically. That is a great thing for the Padres.
I appreciate the effort, but this is why prospects don't really matter to me. Of the Padres top 10, you got a guy who's 23, a guy who's 25, 23, the one that just traded is 23, which is being Gasser, 22, and 21. Like the kids who are 18 years old, fine, lock in. 20, okay, 19. I'm good with that. But these guys that are 23, bro, you ain't making it. You ain't making it. You ain't gonna have no impact. If you are 23 years old
Okay.
and you are still in minor league baseball,
Okay.
you may make it to the big leagues, but you're
Uh-huh.
not going to be a star. You are just a trade piece because you are at the top of someone's prospects list.
Can I ask you a
And you
question?
should be because you're 23
Can I ask you
facing
a
like
question?
19, 20-year-old guys.
I want to help you. I don't want to stop
Help me
you.
help myself. Help me help myself.
You know, Jake Cronenworth was like 26 when he made his debut, right?
Okay. He ain't no superstar.
2-time All-Star.
Bruh, listen, you know how
He's
I
been
feel
in the
about
league
baseball
3
all-stars.
years. He's been in the league 3 years. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's a legitimate top-notch second baseman in baseball. What are you talking about?
I trade him. I trade him tomorrow.
For who?
You know who.
Ohtani?
Come on, White. So, let me address this. Because
No. Don't.
Now the Angels
they're
came
not
out
gonna
and said
trade him.
Ohtani's off the market.
all right, then I don't need to address it.
I don't think they're gonna trade it. Listen, you're gonna address the Musgrove thing when we get to it, but right now we can stick on the move that the Padres did make, and that is to listen. I think last year there was issues on the team, and AJ Preller went out and got a
Personal issues.
second baseman
Who wasn't good.
Who was good but wasn't good here.
Not here.
And because they played him in places that, I mean, he's doing okay in Seattle now. But here's the point. My point being, last year there was issues. He did not address them. This year there's issues. He's addressed one of them. I still think that this team desperately needs a power hitter. Desperately. Whether that's a first baseman, whether that's an outfielder, they desperately need another power hitter on this team. I will stand firm on that. I will die on that hill. They need another power hitter. Now, everyone's going to yell at you. Well, they're getting Tatis back. I get it. I still think they need another one. I still think you need another one.
I think to be viable for an honest shot at the World Series, you need two.
This team, this move to me tells me that our idea of a successful season for the Padres, which the three of us, Jason, I don't know what you said, but Scott, Browner, and me all said, make the playoffs. That's a successful season. This move shows me that they want more this year. They want more this year. They want more next year. So if you are going to consider yourself a World Series contender or a National League pennant team, then you need to address the issues that you have. And power hitting on this team has been an issue even with Tatis last year, because they ranked on the lower end of slugging, of home runs. Like, they need a power hitter. When your center fielder provides no power, when your first baseman provides no power, when your catcher,
no fielding.
And I mean, there's just like positions of power. They don't have any. Nomar Mazara.
They've got to do all they can do to make
has
this
come up here and
bottom
done
line.
Great. I don't think anybody's expecting him to do what he's doing, but the problem is he also is in a place of power and gets no power.
They are saying that Josh Bell is available, the guy out there for the Pirates. He's available. Obviously, we've talked Soto to exhaustion. So the power is available on the market. It is out there. There were rumors, like I said, Chris Bryant was available. Obviously, the Cubs, Ian Happ, Contreras. There are guys out there, power bats, who are available. The question is, are they willing? And it appears to be so. Go get them. Apparently, they are saying Jock Peterson is available. I wouldn't consider him a power bat, but he's a proven winner. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Peterson is he's definitely a postseason home run threat, man. And I'll tell you what, I just think at this point, going back to kind of what Alex has said about, you make these adjustments, you make these moves from last year, what Preller has done. I think it's imperative that they do everything they can. They empty every bullet in the clip to get Soto right now, because you're right. I mean, when you look at like what kind of major changes this team needed to go through, you look at right now, he's got the front of the bus, which is Bob Melvin, which was a huge key to getting a new manager to lead this team. So the front of the bus is taken care of with Bob Melvin at the beginning of the season. You've just, hopefully, the back of that team bus, which is your closer, you got one of the best in baseball over the last few years, and a guy, like you've said, proven in the playoffs. Now let's get to the playoffs and let's be able to use this guy. Now it's the middle of the bus, and you're right. They need that power hitter, and not just some power hitter that hits for power to make that trade. I think it's imperative for them to compete, not just get to the playoffs, but take it as far as they can to win as many games as they can and get themselves into the position to win it all. It's got to be Soto.
I mean, the fact that
if you're going to talk about the moves that you said, right, to make these changes, it's got to be.
Yeah. So according to John Heyman, like you just said, the Angels have decided to keep Shohei Ohtani. So if you take him out, I know we had this discussion. Browner still said he would take Soto over Ohtani. Myself and Scott were like, you clearly, if Ohtani's available, you go for him. So now that he's out, right? Yeah, I would say Juan Soto, you should do anything you can to get that guy.
Everything you can, everything and anything, even some things that you might go, gosh, I got to take a shower after this for that part of the deal.
You may have to turn off the lights to do it, but guess what?
Exactly.
Get it done.
And I would say, honestly, if you throw in Abrams and Gore, which would probably be the two like signature pieces, or if you got to give up Morehone, you need to give up Hassel. If you want to give up the two guys from the 2021, I still don't think Padre fans feel like they should go take a shower after. I genuinely don't think there is this attachment to those guys that losing them, because what you get in return erases all those negative thoughts.
The beauty in baseball trades is that only people who are deep in the weeds get upset about trading these prospects. That's it. The average fan, the person who literally goes to work all day, they're like, wait, we got who? Yeah, see, I need to get some tickets.
Right.
When do they play? The
Right.
people who are in the weeds about like, oh, we shouldn't give away. Let me go back to my list. We shouldn't give away this James Woods. The guy's 19. He's 6'7". He's 240 pounds. That's a power hitter. Like, all right, cool, great. Bye.
The guy that was at the All-Star game pushing little kids for the autograph? He's the guy saying that.
Exactly.
Every other Padre fan, normal, is like, give him whoever. Give him all the dogs that you bring to Petco and center field. I don't care. Do whatever you got to do.
If James Woods turns out to be Soto-level power, here's the deal. We got Soto anyway.
Right.
So, and we needed him to be here now, not 3 years from now. And no disrespect to this James Woods character. Best of luck to you, bruh. Big guy, 6'7". Shout out. I can relate. But we can't do it.
Just look at Mookie Betts. Dodgers gave up supposedly like their top 3 guys. Nobody knows any of those top 3 guys.
Right.
You never know. Nobody never know. When we come back.
But they know that ring that they're wearing.
You will not be able to go off on Ohtani because he's not getting traded. You will be able to go off on Joe Musgrove because they paid that man. We'll talk about that next. This is Kaplan and Crew with just the crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So yeah, what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on your view, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Just minutes from downtown San Diego, 7 Mile Casino. Go check it out for all your favorite table card games. Also, with a Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, full bar, delicious food, 7 Mile Casino. And remember, it's supposed to be fun. So if you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, everybody. So far, we've talked about the big news of the day. So far, I preface it by saying, so far, the big news of the day here for Padres fans has been the new addition of Josh Hader is the new closer after being traded in exchange for Taylor Rogers, Denelson Lamet, Estroy Ruiz, and another prospect. But some things did happen also this morning officially and over the weekend. The Padres paid that man. The Padres officially have signed Joe Musgrove to a 5-year, $100 million contract. And if you're bad at math, Browner, that is $20 million a year. The Padres have locked in their their starting pitcher of the future in Joe Musgrove. And I got to say, after doing my research and seeing who else gets paid $20 million, what a steal. What a freaking steal. I'm very stoked that Joe Musgrove will be on this team for the next 5 years. And I, my friend, am happy that they paid that man.
Look, I never said I did not want him on the team. But if you can pay him, because I'm going to be very clear about this. If you can pay him $20 million a year, which by current market standards, that's what he was owed. So that's what they paid him. That's fair market value for what they gave him. I don't want to hear any excuses if you trade for Soto that you're not going to pay him. I don't want to hear it, because you got the money. If you can give Joe Musgrove, by all accounts, when the season started, a number 3 starter who, to all statistics point to, has come back to earth with his performance, still good, but he's come back to earth. You're going to give him $20 million, which, get your money, player. I'm that kind of guy. I don't want to hear you can't afford anything. If you fall short of Soto and you say anything about money, I'm going to lose it. I'm looking right to the camera because I'm going to lose it. If it has anything to do, we couldn't afford the contract that he was asking for, I'm going to lose it, because you just gave Joe Musgrove $20 million. Now, if you're going for it, this is what going for it looks like. Cut the checks. And if they ain't cutting check mode, then I'm happy about it, because that means more people are coming. And guys, we don't need a going. I'm talking about you, Hosmer. I'm talking about you. Come on, Will. We need a better first baseman.
I would say that to get ahead of that, first of all, they got to trade for Soto. Secondly, in 2 years, the team will look substantially different, and then we can have a conversation. It's not, if they can't afford Juan Soto, it's not because of Joe Musgrove. I can guarantee you that. It's not because of Joe Musgrove and his $20 million contract.
What I'm saying is the $20 million signals to me that the checkbook is open. Now,
the checkbook has been open. I mean, Josh Hader gets paid $12 million this year, and next year they say already he's gonna make $17 million. The checkbook is open, Browner. It's not exclusive. I think that's where you're coming off as it's exclusive. You either get Soto or you get Musgrove. That's not how it's gonna go.
No, I never said that.
I know, but that's how it came off to me.
I said, now that we've paid for one, I don't want to hear any excuse about why we didn't get the other.
But
now, unless the Cardinals,
you never know.
Unless the Cardinals or somebody gives up like 15 prospects and you just thought that was too much, that I can understand. But if we don't get him because we weren't willing to do something financially, I don't want to hear that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But let me show you.
I think they've shown the commitment financially. I mean, when you look at Machado's contract, you look at the fact that they're in the stakes for this. They're ready to pay Musgrove the $20 million a year. They've traded for Hader, and like what Alex just said, he's due to make 17 next year. And if they're going to negotiate him further because things go well, I think at the end of the day, if they can get their hands on Soto, even for all the prospects in the world, I don't think it's going to be the fact that San Diego won't offer enough or in that market value for Soto. I think it's going to come back to either Soto being the way he's been with the Nationals, which is I don't want that deal. I don't want that deal, and I'll look around. And even though it could be a fair market offer from the San Diego Padres, it could be simply comes down to Soto saying no. When you say no to 440 million, you are willing to say no to a lot of great offers around until you feel like that's the one you want. So I think getting their hands on Soto is the most important thing. Having him come here feeling like he's in a winning environment, a committed environment to win. And I think with Machado's money, and with Musgrove, and the nice thing about Musgrove, in my opinion, is it's a great deal. Locking him in. He's a San Diego kid. You don't want that. The last thing the Padres need is Musgrove slipping through the cracks and then coming back in another uniform and shoving the ball up the Padres' rear end every time he starts for him and gets better over the life of this contract. It's a good tradable contract. If there are some reasons that you may have to move him in the next 5 years, it's got a price tag that is luring to other teams that will need a arm if there is, gaps where you want to open up money to offer Soto. So I think it's a great deal. It's a great foundation to try to, at least offer Soto and extend Manny in the future and wherever Hader if the money is investment is right at the end of next year. So I think for a lot of reasons, it's a great deal for the Padres.
Since 2009, the Padres have got Manny Machado, Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Blake Snell, Mike Clevenger, Sean Manaea, brought in Bob Melvin. Now they got Josh Hader and paid Tatis $340 million. I'm not saying that they won't spend. What I'm saying is I don't want to hear it after this. Let's win. Let's win.
Right.
It's time.
I think we haven't. I think the only thing that you have to, when in regards to your argument, Browner, that you really got to pay attention to when you hear about the money is the luxury tax. I don't think that Seidler wants to go above the luxury tax anymore. So there might be casualties of the roster because of that. So I think that's just the fact that a lot of teams don't want to go over luxury tax. I don't think that's hiding any. I think 4 teams did it, 5 teams did it last year. It's not that many. So. But let me just show you this. And I said it's a steal because 20 million sounds like a large amount of money. But first of all, Joe Musgrove has been pretty damn good since he's been here in San Diego. 19-13, 2.97 ERA, 30 quality starts out of 49. He 9.6 Ks through 9 innings. His 2.97 ERA in the combined 2 seasons is the 16th best ERA in all of baseball. And when you look at pitchers that make $20 million, guess what rank that is? 16th of all players. So now he joins. I put Syndergaard in here because he's the next guy up, but he gets paid a little bit more than $20 million. These are the 4 pitchers in all of baseball that get paid $20 million a year. Joe Musgrove is by far the best pitcher of the 4. If you're listening, Joe Musgrove will make 20 million. Charlie Morton, who's 38 years old, is 5-5 with a 4.34 ERA for the Braves. Hyunjin Ryu has been hurt. He's pitched 27 innings this year. He's 35 years old. Noah Syndergaard is, like I said, he gets paid a little more. He gets paid 21, but he's 5-8 with a 3.83 ERA. He's 29 years old. So is Joe Musgrove.
And that arm's older than 29.
When you look at what pitchers get paid what, since Joe Musgrove has been here, and on top of everything that Jason said, the hometown kid, the leadership that he provides to the rotation, his age, everything about him, I think it's pretty much on value. I don't think they overpaid. I don't think they underpaid. I think now that when you look at everything combined, I thought it was a good deal for both. And that's very rare nowadays when you feel like both sides got what they wanted.
And the timing's great too, Alex. They put this thing to bed. They put it behind him down the stretch run. Let the guy go pitch. let the team, rally behind him. All of that is now that's all moot. There's nothing to talk about there. The contract's over and we've got 2 months of regular season baseball to play. And, let him go down the stretch run feeling good with that hanging over his head or the team's head. And I think it's a great move and great timing.
And also, I think it's when you look at who's going to be here next year, it's Yu Darvish as well. And Yu Darvish makes
Yep.
$19 million. And Joe Musgrove has been a little bit better than Yu Darvish. So I think I don't think they ruffled feathers in the clubhouse. I think Joe Musgrove is by far the leader of the pitching staff. I think that Joe Musgrove is a favorite inside that clubhouse. And I don't think him getting paid $1 million more than Yu Darvish will piss off Yu Darvish, because I think Yu knows that Joe's been a little bit better than me since he's been here.
If you want to tell me,
how old's you?
Yu is 35, I believe.
35 or 36, right? Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a fair assessment.
Any person in that locker room is upset with a signed contract because a guy got more than them. Get out. Get out.
I'm not saying he is. Obviously,
right? I know you're not saying. And I'm not saying that you're saying that, but I'm saying for reference because that does happen.
It does happen.
If you're upset that somebody got more than you and they just signed the deal, get out, man. Get out. Get out. Go play somewhere else. Right. That's so mad selfish.
Quietly be upset at your agent. Right. Don't be upset at that player or the team.
That happens in football all the time.
I could see a guy being upset. Let's say you're Nomar Mazara. You've come up here and you're hitting whatever you're hitting now, 285. You're clearly better at hitting than Will Myers has been. But the team continues to play Will Myers because he gets paid $20 million a year. Then, yeah, you have a little right to be upset if you're Nomar Mazara. And that's just a hypothetical. Yes. That's not happening yet. That's just a hypothetical. All I was saying that I think that where they slotted Musgrove in on an annual value is perfect on this team. Now, Browner, they will have to maneuver. And like I said, by the time that the show's over, the team could have already maneuvered a bunch. They're going to have to maneuver to avoid that luxury tax threshold if you do want to re-sign a Mike Clevenger, if you do want to re-sign a Sean Manaea. If Nick Martinez opts out and you want him back, you have to do a little shuffling. But there's guys like Will Myers comes off the books. I don't care what AC says. If the Padres could trade Eric Hosmer and get rid of a large portion of that contract, I think they do trade Eric Hosmer. But Eric, I'll just bring it up because if you don't know what I'm talking about, this weekend was very excited about the first part of this tweet by Kevin AC, and then he just slammed everybody's face. The Padres have a lot of things going on. Juan Soto, Wilson Contreras among them. Maybe 8 or 9 more things. Someone just said trading Eric Hosmer is not one of those things.
He tweeted that for Eric Hosmer, and that's it.
that
tweet was for one person. That tweet was for Eric Hosmer to see that. That was not about anything else. Because if the Padres had a solid offer for Eric Hosmer, he'd be gone. He'd be gone.
I agree. So, I think that if you can put him part of the Soto trade somehow,
he gone.
And let's say hey, we'll pay $8 million of the 20 or whatever he's getting paid, because I know it's going down. I know it's going down for the rest of his contract.
Right.
Per annual. So there's going to be maneuvering. This team's there's going to happen. A lot is going to happen. And another thing that's going to happen, and I think something that if you're a Padres fan, how can you not be excited? I think, have you guys seen the tweets of every beat reporter tweeting before the game this weekend of Tatis taking BP? Do you guys see those tweets, or is it just me?
I stay away from that kind of stuff. So I'm an on the field person. Get on the field, man. I know you hurt. I don't care about your BP. I don't care about your minor league starts. Some people do. Get back up to the club.
Well, yeah, but my point being that I can now be excited because it's after the All-Star break, and that's seeing him swing a bat. I'm like, he just is so different than anybody on this team. Just the way the power he has, the way he looks in the box. So the news today, the reason I bring it up, he will not play against the Dodgers this weekend, which was my prediction. According to Kevin AC, he will have a rehab assignment this weekend and some minor league. He didn't say which one, with the goal of maybe playing next week. So, like I said, we'll see what the team looks like on Wednesday. But I know that the team will look even more different when Tatis is in the lineup as opposed to Ha-Seong Kim or C.J. Abrams or whoever else.
I mean, I guess. What
do you mean you guess?
I want him.
He's not going to look significantly different with him in the lineup as opposed to Kim?
and Myers.
You gotta let them. Jason, does he do this on your show? I don't know how much
Myers.
baseball you guys talk. Does he do this on your? Does he bring up Will Myers like he's going to be some savior to this lineup?
Listen, man.
No. Actually, I've never heard that. I've never heard
until we see a healthy Will Myers.
We don't talk a ton of. We don't.
assume
We got 1 hour. We got to get to the meat
on Padres.
Until we see what we have in a rehabilitated, and re-energized Will Myers, I'm thinking all-star performance. I told y'all he can do 60 games. He can give me 60 good ones. We proven he can give you 60 good ones. So now that's all I'm holding him to. Give me 60 good ones, Will.
I mean, if Tatis comes back in the lineup and you could add Soto and Will Myers is able to fit into that batting order, I think Will Myers can produce big time in that batting order, but it's going to be contingent on the bats that are around him and the pitches he sees because of it.
In that lineup, Will Myers batting third, baby. Maybe fourth.
Well, if Soto's here, he's not batting third.
I think so. We were having a conversation about how the best argument for us living in a simulation is the aerial cameras on cars. Like, how does that work?
Yeah. None of this is real.
Right. I think you are living a parallel universe at the same time that we're living this universe. I genuinely think, like, the way you view things, I don't understand it. Like, you have to be like, we're in the same timeline, but you're seeing something different.
How so? What do you mean?
You're 100% either just gonna think of some crazy thing to say every show, or you are just living with us but not seeing the same thing. Like, have you ever seen Jesus in a piece of toast or something? Like, do you see things?
Well, of course we all, yeah. Like in the clouds, I see stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to me that I bring up the fact that Tatis is going to come back next week, and you're here like Myers is our savior.
No.
Myers is going to be an all-star for 60 games. Myers is going to hit third or fourth in the lineup and be something that he's never been.
We've seen Will Myers play in a 60-game season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How was it? He was great.
But you have to preface it.
He was great.
And I think you agree with this too. Much different player when there's 0 people in the stands.
Also true.
There will be people. I was there Sunday. There were like 40,000 people there. There was 40,000 people there yesterday. There's not going to be 0 in this. There's not going to be cardboard cutout of people's puppies in the stadium.
There's not going to be digital fans waving.
No, there's not going to be Zoom screens on the big screen. There's going to be real people. There's going to be real booze. There's going to be opposing fans, even Browner. There's going to be. It's going to be different.
I just want Will Myers to know the support is out there for you, man. Come on back. Come on strong. So because that's the key to getting rid of Hosmer. That's the key. If we're going to pay somebody to take his contract, we got to have somebody replace him at that position.
Hey, if Kim keeps hitting the way he's hitting in July, maybe you just move Hosmer anyways. Maybe you just put Cronenworth at first and Kim at second.
I don't think they can take Kim out of
I like
the lineup.
Kim.
He's been pretty good.
Kim's hitting. I think he's hitting in July. I think he hit 325.
Can he play left?
He made a couple of great plays yesterday too in the field, and
I don't think it's a surprise that if they keep Abrams, the future would be to put Cronenworth at first and Abrams at second. That would be if they keep him. But if they trade him and Kim is hitting 325, then why not put Cronenworth at first and Kim at second? Kim's defensively, he keeps making plays. I know you say he doesn't have the range of Tatis. Okay, let's say I give you that.
Or Abrams.
Not a lot of guys
still
do.
An incredible defender. Like, if you put Cronenworth at first and Kim at second, that is a much better defensive lineup than Hosmer anywhere.
Again, anytime you want to get Hosmer out of the everyday lineup, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you. So
the Padres tonight, there is baseball being played. I know that we all care about rumors, but there is baseball being played. You have the Rockies in town. They are 3-8 against the Rockies. Mike Clevenger tonight, 2-3, 3.38 ERA against Antonio.
He's been solid the last couple times out.
Senzatella, who's 3-5 with a 4.90 ERA. The Rockies come in losing 3-4 against The Dodgers, they're 3-8 in their last 11 games. The Padres coming off a series victory over the Minnesota Twins. That's coming up tonight at Petco Park. So while we care about rumors and trades and Soto and no longer Ohtani, we do have games to play. So these are still important, as the Padres are still the second of three wildcard teams in the National League. I believe they have a 3-game lead in that. Oh, I don't know if it's called a lead or whatever they want to call it, but Padres staying afloat, 11 games above 500, 12 games behind the Dodgers, but we let go of that a long time ago. So
long time.
When we come back,
that's uncatchable.
Big news for Jason Lawhead's football team, as Deshaun Watson suspension has been handed down. But is the 6 games actually going to stick? We will talk about that when we come back. We are live from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, just minutes from downtown. 7 Mile Casino with a Sammy's restaurant and bar attached as well. Great food, full bar, all at 7 Mile Casino. And remember, it's supposed to be fun. So if you have any problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER. When we come back, Deshaun Watson, 6-game suspension. Will it stick? Talk about that next.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westfield High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
It's time for some San Diego Loyal Soccer Club updates. A late goal from Evan Conway lifted the Loyal to a win over Orange County SC on Saturday. OCSC got the scoring started early with a goal 10 minutes into the match. Grant Stoneman then evened it up in the 30th minute, helping the Loyal find a spark. OCSC would find the net again, but San Diego responded 4 minutes later with a goal from Thomas Ameng. Conway found the net in the 85th minute to seal the deal and earn the Loyal 3 more points. The Loyal are on a club best 7-game run. They have won 6 of their last 7 matches. San Diego will face a big challenge this upcoming weekend when they take on Western Conference leading San Antonio FC. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox Your View. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090, not going to see it on our YouTube channel, not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox Your View. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it, from what I understand and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously, there's some online ways to do that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmen, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not one, but 2 NFL games every Sunday during the season on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home with Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so like if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you like learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
We're hitting the gym, but this place doesn't have stationary bikes or treadmill.
But the workout is killer.
Yeah, see if we have what it takes to make it to the top. Today on
Su Vida.